Hello everybody, welcome back to Vulcan. Okay, this is a bit of a different and a short one. Basically, well, today is November the 14th, 25, and normally we would live stream this on a Sunday. Um, but we are not live streaming on this upcoming Sunday, the 16th. So what we've been doing is doing a little bit of bobs around the base, and I just figured we'd give you a quick update just to kind of fill the gap. So when we're back again, there's no like over surprises. I'm also gonna finish doing some Stirlings, and yeah, we'll kind of just leave it there. Pretty short one, but I'll just show you. So as you can see, we've added some random catwalks, kind of just to get around a little bit rather than using our jetpacks, because I don't know, just having a catwalk outside the base makes it feel a little bit more real, a bit more, well, kind of like we've done something. The most obvious thing is the roof is now clear. So we are pretty much ready to do our control room that we said we were going to do, like 2 live streams ago. Everything that was on top of there has been moved inside of the Atmo Tower. So I'll go and take you for a very quick look. It isn't finished. There's still some work to be done, but we're in a pretty good state at the moment. This is the oxygen tank, which has been shifted from the main area of the base. We've got 45 kilomoles. Sorry, 44.5 kilomoles. So we're doing pretty well. The lockers over here are temporary, and obviously we've got our IC. What we did is we've also dropped the tower a couple more levels because we realised that we didn't leave ourselves enough room. And so if you wanted some floor level, so there we go. But yeah, basically it goes out to here. And this is where we're going to probably have water. Here we've got our fuel. So we've currently got, well, like 76 kilomoles of fuel. So we are doing good on that. We've got our fuel mixing over here. And I'll just get my glasses on. Very simply, just we've got the volatile line coming down, the oxygen. That's our fuel line. That's kind of going back up. And this mixer is automated via the IC circuit that we have over here. And it's all color coded. So we've got our fuel mixing, we've got our Vulcan collection, and we've got our H2 combustor. Which the combustor is still a work in progress. But yeah, so this is obviously the ground floor. We've got our 2 basement levels. And then as we work up here, we have our combustion tank, or combustor tank, because I can't spell, with 1.5 kilomoles ready to be processed. I have set up a combustor in this little room, and what I've done is I've got all this coded just via this circuit here and via the IC down there. Basically, this combustor does not operate when this door is open. If I close the door, the combustor is on and is ready to work. Now, it won't do anything because I've set it to wait until this tank is below 1 megapascal. I don't want to deal with too much. And then all I've got to do is I've got to figure out how to clear out the other rubbish. But we'll work on that. The reason this tank is so cold, and I'll show you shortly, is because I am exchanging it with my furnace. That's over at the other base. So that's why it's only at 1500 degrees C. But quite simply, if I open this up, that turns off because obviously the combustor off gases heat. And then, just as an example, if I do this, and if I open my waste tank in here, the combustor goes off. It cannot operate while it is not in a vacuum and while this door is open. It doesn't work. Simple as that. Very little bit of code, but it allows us to basically have a safe space. And when I close this, you'll see the vent come on. It gets it vacuumed, and away we go. So that is this level. And then if we go up to the next level, we have our CO2 tank, which is 36 kilomoles at 55 degrees C. I've scaled this up. So obviously at the old base, we only had 1 of these. I've now got 4, which seems to speed it up a little bit, but not as much as I would have thought it would. But either way, it's all functioning. It's all fine. These have all got a surplus of pollutant, so we're all good. And this is just the filter that ensures there is at least 2 megapascals of CO2 in there. At the moment, it's not running because obviously we've got 2 megapascal. But yeah, that's this, and I'll just show you the glasses. There's a bit more pipe work going on here, just to get all 4 of those connected in. But yeah, the yellow pipe is the liquid pollutant, the brown pipe is the Vulcan collection, grey pipe is CO2. But yeah, this floor, volatile is just making its way up to the volatile tank. We go up the next level. Our volatile is at a very respectable 563 kilomoles. What the hell are we going to do with all that? I've got absolutely no idea. It's obviously going to probably go into fuel. We just need to get a surplus of oxygen, or we should look at NOS. But we're a bit off NOS at the moment, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And this is just a filter, which is making sure that gets to 40. We're almost there, and then this will stop. Not much going on here in the drywall. We've obviously got the liquid pollutant collection tags on the next level. These valves are all coming from our Vulcan. Whoops, daisy. They're all coming from the Vulcan collection into our liquid pollutant when it liquefies in that pipe. Next level, which is level 4. Liquid pollutant, we have almost 38,000 litres of liquid pollutant. And that is with 4 of those guys going. So I'm tempted to see how pressurizing the base will go and see if we start eating through some of this. It is a bit hot. I would prefer for this to be cooler, so I may have to have a look at that at some point. It's also going to overpressurize at some point soon. So I need to put some safety on that. So maybe we'll do that today. Although I'm sure I've got some safety on it, it's just not working fast enough. But yeah. And then the last floor before the top floor is where we store Vulcan. So we collect it during the night, and basically everything is filtered from this network. So there's a large vent out there which collects it. Everything is collected via the pipe, and then it gets purged, well, almost get purged every day once the temperature outside hits a certain temperature. So far, we've not had any issues, so I'm pretty confident that we'll be alright on that. And then up here, what I've done is I've moved the beacon, because it doesn't make sense for it to be over there anymore, so the little tower's gone. We've got this massive tower, we should have the beacon at the top, which we can see from miles away. I was going to put it up here, but there's no nice way of getting the cable down because we're using the tube mod to do this curved ceiling. So it's just going to sit here, and yeah, it works absolutely fine. While we're up here, what you will notice is that we now have more solar panels. Originally, when we built the tower, we were going to have to move the solars, and we probably still will. But for now, I just built another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. And it's the 11 that are at the far side, just those 11 there. And I don't know if you can see it from here. You can't. But our batteries are getting fully charged each day. So at the moment, we're fine. When power becomes a problem, at that point, we'll probably move the solar panels. Because the tower is blocking the morning sun. Or the morning black hole, I should say. But yeah, Sophie's obviously gone through and done the decorating. She's gone for a very simple composite wall layout, but each level has a coloured stripe relevant to the tank that's in there, which is a nice little subtle kind of design choice, so haven't got a problem with that. Absolutely fine. We are planning on putting an elevator in here because, as you can see, it's a long walk down. So 2 more levels. And here we are at the bottom. So what we'll do, let's go for a walk around the back. And I'll just show you what we've got around there. So we follow the catwalk. Don't worry about the noise. I think that is the furnace line that's doing that. Yeah, so this pink line here, this is coming from the furnace. And we are heat exchanging that with the hot tank inside. Now the pressure when it hits 51 will be removed via a back pressure regulator. So don't worry about the noise, it's an okay noise. But under the catwalk you can see that we've currently got our 4 pipes going across and our main power line. Try to keep it as tidy as possible. And yeah, I think it's looking alright. If we go up to here, we have what is going to be our Stirling area. So this brown line, this is going to be from the H2 combustor. So you can see here we've got this line which is coming direct from the tank, and this is heat exchanging with our furnace. Eventually this will get to the point where this line will start getting hot as we start using more steam. But at the moment this pink line is cooling it. I've got a one-way valve because once the hot gas, when it gets hot again, passes through, I don't want the exchanging to affect this, because I want to get as much power as I can from the Stirlings. So that's why the one-way valve is there. And you can see there, look, we've got 2386. So that's hopefully what it'll be long term once we've got this up to that temperature. But it's going to take a while. Obviously, we've got our 3 Stirlings. I need to get this all set up, and we're going to probably try and look at this today. And over here, we've got a little refilling station, which we just fill up our volatile canisters. Just pure volatile, we're moving away from the dirty mix. I will take you for a walk around the outside, but there's not really much to show you except the actual catwalk. Try to just make it a little bit interesting so you can walk around, get to all the important bits. This tank, I forgot we even had this. This is the waste from the combustion centrifuges. Realistically, that tank, not required. We could probably remove it at some point. But if we follow this all the way around, so we're actually next to Sophie's ore room at the moment. And then we get around here and we get to our furnace workings. So this is obviously the hot tank. Everything has gone pink because I couldn't pick orange or red because they're both allocated colours. And that's our cold tank up there, which actually has some liquid pollutant in, which is being extracted from that via that drain, so we're fine. We're fine there. If I go around here, this is where I did the chutes. So this is the ore distribution side, and obviously this is back to the greenhouse. The oxygen tank and the CO2 tank have been moved. They're now back at the tower, and this is all just nice and tidy. Well, apart from this cable, but we're just going to ignore that. If I go up here, I had spare railings, which is why they're up there. This is just Sophie's power transmitter, which hasn't got any power apparently. What has happened there? Why have you got no power? Or is that nothing down there is using power? I'm not sure. I will look into that. We definitely have power. But yeah, so anyway, that's where this is. And then this just feeds all the way back round. And when daytime comes, this is quite a nice view. You got like a bit of a hill over there, the big lava pool. So I'm probably going to just put some furniture or whatever. That way just leads back to the start of the base, like the entrance. But if we go down here, and then go down another level. So down here is just a bit of an empty space, but we got access to the hot tank controls. And then over here, you've got all of our little chutes. I like these chutes. And then look out into another catwalk over there. And then if we just take these stairs down, we can get to where Larry enters. So it's quite nice seeing him come in and go into there. And then over here, we've kind of got some natural rock formation. Nice little catwalk. This is where we've just seen. And then this takes us back to the top. Like that. And that takes us back round to where I said we've got that view. So some of this is going to get changed because we're planning on having the control room at the front here. But I just thought, you know what, adding these gratings and the railings it's just nice. Just add something to your base. Definitely worthwhile doing. As you can see, power, absolutely fine. Adding the additional solar panels has fixed our power issues for now. And that is with all the stuff we put inside the tower. So more than happy with that. Don't need to worry too much about it. So catwalk solars, I've moved the batteries. So if you remember, I had a tank of water which we collected like 269 liters. I've now got that into our system. So if I look in here, look, we've got 286 liters in there. So we're fine for water. We were getting a bit low. We got down to about 30 litres of water at one point. So because I was moving everything over to the tower anyway, what I did was I connected, it was up there, I connected the water tank down into here, into a heat exchanger, and then I connected the other side to this network here. Because this is the CO2 that's being cooled by this AC. And the CO2 in here comes from our main CO2 supply. And in all honesty, that cooled the water down. It was, what was it at? It was about 180, I think it got to. And no word of a lie, it cooled it down in about an hour. Obviously an hour is a long time, but actually, considering there's 289 litres in there, sorry, 286, I think that's pretty good going. The CO2 did get up to about 70 degrees C, but as you can see, we've dropped that down by almost 20. So this AC alone, obviously powered by this one as well, is doing pretty well. This setup seems to just work, which is fantastic. And all of our wheat, I fixed the grow light code. So now we are just doing a check that the vertical of the sun is less than 90. If it is, turn them on, and all of our plants have recovered. Like we've got no deaths now. Everything's growing. Everything's well. All is good. Nothing else really to report in here, so that is fine. The only other thing I will need to mention is the ICS outpost. So the outpost where we get our iron and copper and silicon from stopped working. I went over and found that the solar tracking was just dead, and from what I can gather, it was because we had no check on the battery. Now, we had a stream a couple of days, maybe the one before last, and we had the Stirling blow up, and we kind of said, and chat agreed that obviously we probably don't need to do any additional checks. The solar panels will just deal with it. They didn't. The outpost died. I had to manually point the solar panels back at the black hole, and then I've put in a check where if the battery is less than 20%, turn off the deep miners. And that has kind of sorted us out. So that is all good. This floor grating, I don't know why that's there, so let's just put you back. And that's pretty much what we've done. A lot of it was just lifting and shifting crap from the ceiling over to the tower, which is all good now, all fine. And this is basically where we're at. So what I want to kind of have a look at is this console over here. Sophie wanted a console that would give her the temperature in Kelvin. So that is the temperature of the furnace. We've almost got it to a temperature where we could just smelt stellite. We are only 50 Kelvin away from it. So we're kind of just waiting for this all to warm up. And yeah, we should be good. But this is looking good. Yes, if I try and pump that in now, it's going to cool the furnace down, so we'll just wait it out. So, the plan today is only going to be a short one, because obviously it's just me. Sophie is having a lie down, because we've had a busy day. But basically, what I need to do is, where we are collecting the output from the H2 combustor, we need to A, deal with that, and B, process the steam. Now, my thinking is that we could just filter off the water. But I think we'd be missing a trick by not feeding that through our Stirlings first. Because we can shave off, I don't know how much we can shave off, it might be that I need more Stirlings. But right now, I want this gas being removed from this system to allow our combustors just to continue working. At the moment, it's on hold because I've still got a lot in there. I could put more in. Obviously, this tank can handle 60 MPa. But the more I put in, the longer it's going to take to cool. And I'm less bothered about the power from this. I'm kind of just wanting... Well, they're saying that if I was to put more pressure in this, I might find that my furnace would come up to temperature a lot better. A lot quicker, I should say. So we're going to do that. I also need to go and check my pollutant tank because I'm pretty sure if we don't deal with it, it's going to become a problem. Because currently we're on 5.56, so we've gone up by what, 0.06 of a megapascal since I've been talking. It's not great. So I need to change this up. Now I do have, I'm pretty sure it's down here, down another level. I've got a pressure, I've got a purge valve behind here, which I'm going to be honest is a pain in the arse to get to. You've got to get the camera just right. You can do it, and I did it earlier, but right now it's a bit of a pain. Basically, this is not keeping up. Long story short, I can't get to the bloody thing. Come on. I feel like I should be able to. Nope. Can I even turn it off? No, I might have to move that because I physically can't do it. You know what? Let's just turn you off temporarily. I've got another 3, so I'm not concerned about removing one of these. And let me deconstruct it to a point. Does that work? Nope. Okay, I can probably remove that pipe. There we go. I can reach that now. All right. So what have I got you? What have I got you on? I can't reach it. No. I need the hand drill. Hand drill. Hand drill. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's set to 40. Okay. Oh wait, what? It's set to 4.9 kilopascals. This is not keeping up in the slightest. I need more of those. Which I can probably put another one. Well, I've got a couple of spaces. I could put one here, which should do the job. I could probably cram one there as well. Just to get a couple on, just to absolutely make sure we're not going to pop it. So let's go and get a couple of purge valves and see if that helps with that, shall we? I don't know if I've got any in the tower. Hopefully I have. Just need some regulators. I've got 2. Perfect. So I've got you. Do I have... I've got insulated pipes and I've got liquid pipe. I need yellow. Perfect. This is all... After building the tower, this is everything that we've still got from the roof. Yes, I'm a bit concerned that I've got a lot of spare pieces. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like when you get some IKEA furniture and you can't figure out what that screw's for. It's probably not needed. So if we go up here, and let's put purge valve number 1 here. I just need to make sure I can connect it to power. Maybe I put them both behind this one, but then I'm going to struggle to control it. So no. So one can go there. That's the wrong kind of valve. I need a purge valve. And then the other one, can I put it there? It would have to go that way. So maybe not. I guess up there is fine. Although it'll have to go that way. Although that's a problem because I can't get the cable to it very easily. Although I could run the cable along and down. So yeah, we'll put the other one there. Purge valve. Set all of those to 4900, which I'm pretty sure is what it was. It was. And set you to 4900. I could have probably done this in a much tidier way. Which might be a better idea, actually. Yeah, you know what? Let's take you out. Let's not put those there. We've got all this space here. So why don't we just move that purple cable down the corner and just try and make an effort of keeping this place tidy, because it's something that I don't do very well. So if I just do this, and then we can remove those cables in a second and bring this down the corner. And then what I can do is bring that back into the middle line. So if I do that, do that, do that, do that, get rid of this cable. And are you going to let me get rid of that? No? No? What if I go up to the next level? No? Alright, you have permission to stay there. I will allow you that. Alright, so now we can just put the purge valves in the middle. So if we just do a purge valve there. Purge valve there. And then we'll bring the other one up in a second. Give me wrench. Oh, give me more pipe. Oh, this is a thingy one. I need to remove that pipe segment. So let me just try and get that. If you'll let me. There we go. And we'll just do some singles. Okay. I've missed that twice. 1, 2, and then one will be there. And then give me these, same problem. Although they're gonna fill my inventory.
Hydration critical.
Shush, lady. Give me those pipes. And I'll have to go up to the next level just to fix that. Like so. And then we do ye and ye and ye. And then finally, we're going to have one there. We're going to have this guy go across here. And this guy go across here. Right, labeler. Go 4900. 4900. Turn you on, turn you on. That should hopefully deal with that. And then what I'm going to do is move this guy. Because I can't get to him anyway. And put him in here. So 4900, confirm, turn you on. Okay. My glasses have just died, so let me replace my battery for a second. I want to tidy this pipe up. So give me... You gonna let me have it? Yeah, you are. So we do that, bring it out. You're gonna go there. And then this guy, we just need to do that, do that, do that. Perfect. Now we'll get this rebuilt with the right tool. And there we go. It's like nothing ever happened. You have 20 litres of pollutant, which you've got. Very nice. And yeah, we're all good. We are all good. And now the hope is... we've already lost some pressure. Alright, so having the 3 valves is... not valves. Purge valves. Is probably going to look after that now. Potentially. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. Okay. So that's the safety done there. Now I want to go and do the Stirlings. Because I want to start getting my water cooled. A little bit anyway. Now, when I was cooling the batch water that we already had, I mistakenly thought that I would be able to use the really big extending radiators and do it at night. But I think the I think the pressure is too high on Vulcan because they only seem to be heating. They aren't radiating any heat, even though they're convection. That it's just not working. So I don't think I can use those, or at least I'm using them wrong one way or the other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this guy first of all, because at the moment he's maintaining a pressure of 1 megapascal. But I think that might be a little bit underkill. So if we change this code, and this is very easy code. Check that the pressure input is greater than 1,000, that's the fuel. Check that the pressure output is less than 1,000, and then just turn it on if both of those are true. That's all that's happening. The on and off function with the door is happening on the IC housing. But the pressure output, I'm going to set that instead. I'm going to set it to 5 megapascal. A lot more. So export you, do that. And that should give us a pretty large volume in which we can A, heat our furnace up, B, store a large amount of the steam. So if we close this door, we should see that comes on. And now we should see that we're starting to collect. Yes, so that's functioning fine. That is doing exactly what we want it to do. So whilst that gets hot, we'll leave that running. We need to go and decide what we're doing outside. Now, first things first, I need 2 canisters. We need to put volatile into the other 2 Stirlings. So let's go and quickly print off some of those. I realised it's not lost on me that I made the catwalks and then just flew over them. Very aware that I just did that. A couple of smart canisters, we're not wasting those in here. Let's just print out some more. Also, what's in that insulated package? Oh, we've got water in there. Well, that can stay there. Alright. Canister, I need iron. I've got to go get a drink of water in a second. Whilst I was doing stuff and getting everything moved over, both myself and Sophie got into the habit of letting our health get down pretty low, so that the water that we had lasted, because we were worried that it was gonna. Well, I was worried. Sophie didn't give a shit. But I was worried that our water wasn't going to last before we died of dehydration. Luckily, I managed to get the water cooled with about 30 litres left, so that was fine. Right, let's go fill these up and see what we're going to do about these Stirlings. It's all happy sounds, don't worry about it. Not that you're worried, but yeah. So I've got this set to 1,500. I can't work out how this is going to... I don't want to overpressurize them. So that's currently giving me 19 moles. Which isn't a lot. Just the thing is that the temperature is pretty low. So let's go for... Because the thing is that the pressure kind of doesn't... I mean, it does matter, but it depends on the temperature it is going in. Which is the problem. So I'm going to leave it at that, I think. So we go for 3 megapascal. Makes us just shy at 47 moles. But that's at this temperature. Like, it isn't going to stay that way. So we can always put some more if we want to, but I want to wait until the next Vulcan winter to really figure out what we're going to do. Well, look, now we're on 53 moles, so I don't know what the hell happened there. But that'll do. So stick you in there. Stick you in there. Alright. So, obviously, ignore the noise. So this is our hot thing, and this is our furnace pipe, which is getting hotter by the second. All absolutely fine, or doing what we want it to do. What I want to do is I want those Stirlings to A, power my batteries, but B, cool the water down. Now, power is second priority. Like, I don't care about the power. My power issues are not an issue, are not a problem. What I'm curious to know is, if I turn these on, right, bear in mind that I'm not gaining any power from this because this cable isn't plugged in. But what temperature is that going to get this pipe down to? Wow. Bear in mind that section of pipe was a lot higher than that. We're already getting down pretty quick. Alright, let's turn this off. Bear in mind this is only nighttime. They work better. Or is that just... I don't know. That's probably just at night, really, isn't it? But we've just shaved off almost 1,000 degrees off this pipe segment, which is insane. So what I'm going to do is I am going to connect that heavy cable to the batteries because waste not, want not. Bloody hell, that pipe's loud. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'll connect it to the input because we do get some power loss during the night. I mean, we top it up during the day, so it's no issue whatsoever. But let's make sure power remains under control. So I should have some more heavy cable. I don't know if this is going to be enough, but we're about to find out. I've got purple and yellow. I need red. Right. Give me wire cutters. I'll sort my health out shortly. And bring you here. So we'll bring this all the way around. Alright. Now that I'm down here, I guess... Well, I guess I don't want to cross that yellow line. I need to get it to this line here. Oh, rats. Alright, that's fine. This is definitely... Yeah, this is definitely power. So let's bring this down here. And then bring you over this way. And you are basically going to have to come to the side a little bit. I'm going to have to remove that frame. Now, it's not airtight anyway, so I can remove it without a problem. But, yeah, let's save on a cable, actually. Let's send this back one. Come down here. Out here. And into the catwalk. And then I'll take you and take you. Alright. I need more heavy cable. Not much more, but I definitely need more. Yeah, I don't have any. That should be in there, though. And no, that's one normal coil. I haven't got any up here either. Alright, let's get some of that made. Oh, I need more gold. Boom. Power low. You know what? While I'm waiting for those cables, I will also go and sort out some of these triangles, shall I? Because looking a little bit ridiculous. Oh, now I need copper. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Boom. And a boom. Yep, you're good. Alright. Let's go and get us a drink. Well, we need drink, power, we need health, we need food. That is that done. That is that done. You go there. You go there. You get emptied. While I'm in here, replace you. I fixed most of my triangles. The other two will have to just wait. That's fine. Right. Heavy cables. Go and get those connected. Let's get them running. Well, we'll run them during the day and just see what happens. I mean, even if the water gets to daytime temp, that is still a hell of a lot better than it was. Like I said, the power efficiency I don't care about at all. Oh, I've gone too far. Right. So I need to run you all the way along the catwalk. Am I going to have enough cables? I think we all know the answer to that. Hell no. Almost, but not quite. Working at the car wash, yeah. Give me those 11 cables, that'll probably do. Right. And then we are here. So let's go up the side of the step and on the railing as well. And there we go. Alright, Stirlings are connected. So any power these guys generate will go into our batteries. So if I just flick these on, now the efficiency is going to be shit. I don't care about the power though. Like, that is literally a byproduct. I want the cooling. Now, I could probably just leave these guys on all the time. It probably isn't going to be a problem. They're going to get hot, but they're going to get hot regardless. So I might just leave these going all the time. I don't see what the problem is. I don't know if there is a problem, but you can see there it's going to cool that pipe down to whatever the atmosphere is. And currently out here we are on 515 degrees C. So what I could do is now the problem we're going to have is that there'll be a point where we get pollutant and water in a liquid state. That I do not want. So if we have a look at water becomes a liquid, assuming the pressure is high enough. So let's say we're going to be around the 2 megapascal mark. Once it's hang on, I can't do Kelvin. 2 megapascal. So we're looking at about 300 degrees C. If I can get the water at that temperature, I'm happy with that. That's not an issue. Pollutant, I know, doesn't become liquid until that's nice about pollutant. Doesn't become liquid until 150 degrees C. So what we could say to the system is, when that pipe is, let's say, greater than 160, we could. What's the best? Digital valve. Or do we want digital valve? Basically, I'm trying to figure out at what point to pull the water out. But I'm wondering whether... best thing to do. I think we get a pump that will pump out of this when the temperature hits 300, but that same pump turns off when the temperature is below, say, 170 for safety. So in theory, we should only get water, is my thinking. Or do I turn off the Stirlings when we are down to 170 degrees C? Maybe that's an option. Because at that point, we take the water out. And I think all we've got to do is run the water into our CO2 to get it cool. Because I could use a liquid... I could use condensation valves to pull the liquid out, but the liquid is in there really hot. Don't really want that. I want to get it as cool as possible. So yeah, maybe that's the play. Maybe we automate these to turn on if this pipe is... Oh, basically on if the pipe is greater than 170 is what we want. At no point do we want that pollutant to liquefy. If it does, then we're probably going to have to get a bit creative with something afterwards. So I need... And what you'll see... Actually, I've left some terrain up there. But what you'll see is on the tower, got these little terrain nuggets in the corner. I've done that so we can jetpack up. And my thinking is that if we use cladding, we won't see it. Which I thought was quite clever. But, you know, my opinion. Right, we have an outside sensor. So we have that. Not that it matters, because we don't need that for this. We basically want... Well, can the... not combustor. No, what are these? Stirling engines. Can these read the temperature? They don't have a... They have a temperature, but I think that's of the device. So that isn't going to work for me. So all I need is an analyzer on this network, and then that should do it. Like, when this pipe is greater than whatever degrees, I'm going to go 170. Maybe we'll try like 155. Then these go on. That is my drill. I don't want you. So let's get analyzer now. Do I have any in there? I see no analyzer. Fine. Nyum. Working at the car wash, yeah. Do. Work and work well. Those cars never seem to stop. Chicken. And then I needed... What did I need after the analyzer? Analyzer to read from the pipe. Oh, we need a pump. Because we're going to have to... I need to see how much stress that pipe's going to get under. Because it may be a problem. Pipe. Pump. We'll take some of these as well. I could do with some valves. Not you. I need some normal... Oh, I've got 3 valves on me. That'll probably do. I need some more insulated pipe. Quickly make me some of that. I've got steel and I've got silicon in there, so that is fine. Right, give me some of this. What temperature we've got out there? Temperature's coming down. All right, well, we need to make this pretty sharpish, to be fair. So you know what? You keep going. I will be back. Off and off. Because my worry is that pipe's going to rupture if we allow too much liquid to build up. I mean, I could always turn them off. It's not the end of the world. So you can see there we're currently on 602 degrees C. But that temperature of that pipe is coming down very quickly. Considering that it's like 592 degrees in there, that is still quick. These guys should start producing more power during the night. But again, like I said, this is not important. I could also put more Stirlings in parallel if I wanted to. But yeah, so what we'll do is I will put the analyzer on this just here. Turn you on. That's not going to work. Let me take that off. Put it over here. I need purple cable. Thank you. And then get you connected. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, we have power. We can read that pipe. Everything is perfect. Stress is going to start building potentially. I wish the condensation valves, you could set them up so that they didn't like you had a digital one is kind of what I want, but it's not a thing, which is fine. So I'm probably going to do more Stirlings, I think, because these are pretty efficient cooling as far as I'm concerned. That's 3.8 megapascals in there, and I think it's cooling pretty well. But yeah, so basically, we need a pump which is going to remove from this network into a separate network. So we will do here, or do I do there? So that gives me space to put another 2 Stirlings if I want to. So yeah, we'll do there. And then we bring you this away. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't do it. We can do a 3. Can't do a 5. You. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then let's have a look at this. So we're on 484 degrees. Coming down pretty rapidly. I need a tank. We quickly. Now, the reason I'm doing this outside and not bringing that line back in is because I'm planning on just purging that shit anyway. So I don't even really care about bringing it in just to bin it off. Oh, insulated liquid tank. Let's take that. Let's take it to that. Although it won't be going out here, that will be going inside. But, you know. Things. Alright. So what we got? 423 degrees C. We've got time. So you are going here. And then I do not have... Right, you can't go there just because I'm being cheap and I don't have the pipes right now. So if I do that there... 1 and 2. Get ye connected. I do not have... oh yeah, I need to get the logic to this network as well. So if I bring you over here... Yep, that's the thing. That's a thing. How are we looking? Alright, if we're really quick, we'll get some of that purple cable. Nyom. Quick. It's a matter of life or death. Mine. Quick. Rapid. Right. Give me some more of that cable. Make it purple. And while I'm here, just because I've forgotten to do it, let's get this connected to that as well. Just straight down. Like so. Alright. How are we looking in here? So 343 degrees C. That's fine. I need more Stirlings because what's going to happen is... I mean, I guess I might as well have these guys only come on when we're below the temperature in the pipe. As long as it doesn't go below 170. That's probably a better option in it because there's no point in warming this pipe up. So that is something that we will code. And then what we'll do over here is we will have... Well, this pipe needs to come out some more. And we will do this. So we'll go 1. Actually, what's your temperature? Quick, insulated pipes. Insulated pipes. Yum. Come on. Run, Ferris, run. Mine. Turn off, turn off. Yum. Alright. How you looking? How you looking? It's not really getting any less than that now, is it? It's because what was happening is we're feeding more in now. So we are feeding heat into this system, which is a real shame. But this will eventually still cool. We're just waiting. I mean, as you can see there, though, the water is starting to build up. So we could take it at that level. Where are we? Oh, to be fair, it starts liquefying at around 368. So the fact that we got it down to 336 works for me. At this point, the stress is building. So let me turn these off for now. So what we'll go for is we'll go for like a... That's all gonna fucking thing. Let's sort this out very quickly. We'll do it to the point where we get to like 350 then. I is thinking. And bring this over here like so. 2, 3. And then we'll go for valves. Condensation. 1, 2, 3. Do this, this, and this. And then we go for the water on the other side. Like that. So, long story short, is we cool this down. You can see actually what's happening is well, it's gone to 340 now. But that's fine. I guess we'll always pull the water out of that. So maybe we just always have that open. Always have these on as long as the temperature of the pipe is less than that of the atmosphere. So if I turn this pump on, we're going to end up with all of those gases. It's going to warm up, but that's warming up because the steam is condensing. Is the problem there? But then as a result, we are getting a warmer output. Oh shit, what's going on? Oh, you're massively warming up because of the condensation that was well, it's not happening now, so... Oh, because I'm losing... Yes, that's what's happening. Okay. So, because we were removing pressure from this line, we were giving this line chance to go through and repressurize it and effectively warm it back up, which is what's causing that heat spike in there. Now, luckily, because it goes into here and evaporates, it cools. So we did still drop some. What I probably need to do is turn these guys off right now. But yeah, what I should do, that should be alright, that analyzer can move down here. Give me wire cutters. And you do that. So the thinking will be, we've got one-way valve, that's staying. But we will put a digital valve here. So that when the temperature outside gets below... I don't know, say it gets below 300 degrees out here, we turn that valve off. Because as we bring our cooling down, we don't want this to start feeding through. We want to almost deal with this in a batch. And then this pump comes on. Excuse me. Once we have this... Well, once this is below, I guess, 300 degrees C. Is the idea here. So, digital valve. And that'll probably do it, to be honest. How is the furnace temperature looking at the moment? We got it up to 1712. We're doing 14 kilojoules, which is fine. All right, digital valve. And then I also need to label some shizzle up. So let me do this as water prod ANALYSER. That's that. Water prod pump. Water prod tank. They are just as they are because we're going to be batch reading right into those. Alright, I need the analyzer. Not analyzer, sorry, the valve. There's probably better ways of doing this. I could probably just run a whole cooling radiator thing. Get the water down to 126 at night. Just run it through a gazillion radiators. But I want to do this Stirling thing. I want to at least give this a fair shot. Because it would be the first time I've actually done it properly in an atmosphere that isn't cold. What am I doing? Steel. 1, 2. Close you up. Oh, also, look at our coal back up. Our coal outpost is doing work, which is very, very nice. Not sure why the coal keeps coming damaged, though. Don't know about that. I don't know why that's a thing. Right, we got steel or what? Oh, we've gone up a Kelvin. So we are getting there slowly. We're ready to make stellite before you know it. Right, give me one of those. Take your time. Oh, also, let me show you. Because we removed all that stuff off the roof, look how much tidier the cable looks now. Now, don't get me wrong, the cable is still a bit messy around here, and the airlock still is not on, well, the entire greenhouse, including the airlock, is on one network, all via this APC. I really need to put a transformer in. I just haven't done it yet. But it's looking much better. Like, we haven't got all that crap that we had on the ceiling before. So it's definitely a good move getting it moved off the roof. I'm a big fan of doing that. But I'm also very aware that the entire Atmo tower, the reason we built that was solely so we can build a bloody control center. Which I am adamant we will be doing on the next stream. Whether Sophie likes it or not. Well, we'll see what happens. That is crap, multiple pipes. Oh, that's a shame. Take that out for a second. Stick you there. Like that. Now, let's remove one of those pipes. Put you in there. Give me wire cutters. Alright. And then we will call that water prod valve. Okie dokie. We've got an outside sensor, but we don't. But yeah, we are going to need that. That's fine. Long story short, temperature out here. We're basically going to be constantly checking the temperature outside versus the temperature in this pipe. If the pipe is hotter than the atmosphere, turn all of these on. As long as the temperature does not fall below 170. We don't want to risk capturing pollutant. Because that is a possibility. When the temperature is, let's say we get down to 350. Oh no, let's say we get down to 400. We turn this valve off. Okay? Because we're on that final push where we want to really bring it down. Maybe we do it sooner than that, actually. We do this in batches. So maybe we say when the temperature falls below, say, 600, this valve gets turned off. Yeah, I think that's a plan. Alright, well, let's put it into practice. Let's go and get this coded. Let me get into my tower. My inventory is chocker. And I should have a spare circuit. I don't think I have a spare housing though, which is an unfortunate situation. Let me quickly go and get one. I think eventually what we're going to do as well is we're going to have an underground passage from that tower to the main base, so you can go over or underground. That'll be nice. But before we get any additional structures built, apart from the control center, we need to get this base pressurized. I am sick of walking around in my suit. Any housings? Nope, 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 nope. Any housings? I think not. Housing. I need copper. I have copper. We'll just take a moment. While it does that moment, let me quickly go and fill my face with food and water. I also want to get other crops growing. I need to figure out where we're going to get nitrogen from. Because we can off-gas large amounts of like cobalt and stuff, but that isn't something that we're going to be able to sustain for long. So I don't know whether maybe we go over engineer, because we could trade for it, but I think what I want to do is get a rocket and go and get our nitrogen. Like build a massive rocket for the sake of making some soybeans. Why the hell not? Right, give me the housing. Thank you very much. Right, let's go. I thought out the corner of my eye, I saw one. Excuse me. Got hiccups. Right, we've still got time. Okie dokie. We will stick you there. Alright. Edit this. Clear. And you know what? I'm going to pause it. So, very simply, we're going to define the Stirlings as the number. I know you can do this, but I've just used to using the number now. Alias the pump to D0. Alias the analyzer to D1. Alias, what have I got? Pump, analyzer, valve to D2. Alias the sensor to D3. So load from the sensor. Check that the temperature. Well, load from the sensor, load from the analyzer. Check that the temperature between them means that the pipe is hotter. Turn on the Stirlings. So let's do that bit first. Yield, jump to start. Load into R0 from the sensor the temperature. Sub into R0, R0 minus 273.15. Load into R1 from the analyzer the temperature. Sub into R1, R1 minus 273.15. So once we've got those two, what we want to do is take the pipe temperature and then subtract the sensor temperature. And if that number is positive, then sorry, the other way around. So sub, and we'll do this into R2. I might want to keep R0 and R1 for later. So I want to do analyzer minus sensor. And then what we'll do, set greater than into R2, where R2, oh no, greater than 0. So if R2 is greater than 0, we want to turn on the Stirlings. So that is the analyzer temperature. So say we've got 100, I don't know, say we've got 700 in the pipe. but 600 in the sensor. We set greater than 0. Because there's a 100-degree difference and a 100-degree hotter in the pipe, we turn the Stirlings on. And that's the idea. The Stirling should never come on if the outside is hotter than the pipe. Always if the pipe is hotter than the outside. So save batch to the Stirlings, the on as R2. Pretty sure that's it for that first check. Pretty sure. Sub, so R1 minus the outside. If it's greater than 0, turn on the Stirlings. That's fine. So now that's the first check. The second check is that I need, if the analyzer is less than 300, then what do I want to do? If the analyzer temperature is less than 300, no, not less than 300, less than 700, turn that valve off. So what we'll do, set greater than, and I'm doing a greater than because I can. Set greater than into R3. I'm doing it safely by reusing registers, but I'm just trying it this way. Where R1 is greater than so let's say greater than 600. Save to the valve, the on as R3. So if the temperature in that pipe is greater than 600, just dump more in. I don't care. It's absolutely fine. If we get it below 600, turn that valve off. Because we're doing it in a batch. And that's just the temperature. What I need to figure out a way of doing later, once we've got this first bit working, we need to then add a check-in for the pressure. So, let me think. What we will also do. So if it's greater than 600, turn on that valve. Once it hits less than 600, that valve will come off. So then what we're going to do is set less than into R3, where R1, which is still the analyzer temperature, is less than, and we'll go, I don't know, 370. If it's less than 370, I might go colder than that though. Let's go for 200. Excuse me. And then it's less than 200, then save to the pump, the on is R3. That's a thing. And then up here, I want the Stirling, so we're checking that is greater than 0, that's subtraction. But I also need to put a check here that the temperature of the valve is not greater than, but it needs to be greater than 170. So here, and now it's going to become a mess because now I'm going to use a random R4 here because I can. Oh no, I could reuse R3. That's fine. Set greater than into R3, where R1 is greater than 170. And then we're going to AND into R2, R2, and R3. Okay, these registers are starting to look a mess, but you get what I'm trying to do. I'm basically going to be reusing R3 down here as a separate register. So we load the temperature from the sensor, load the temperature from the analyzer, subtract the temperature of the sensor from the analyzer, and if that is greater than 0, then turn on the Stirlings. Because obviously we can get the pipe cooler. But they will only turn on if the temperature in the pipe is greater than 170. We do not want it any lower than that. Any lower than that, and we risk getting pollutant in our water. And that's going to be a whole of a bloody thing. Which we'll have to just deal with later. But for now, hopefully not. So that controls the Stirlings. And then down here, if the temperature is already above 600, just turn the valve on. Like, just let more through. It's fine. Not too concerned. If it's less than 200, the temperature, then I'm happy to pour the water out. Very crude setup. Very crude indeed. But let's give it a whirl, shall we? So I should have a... I had a circuit. Did I not have a circuit? Oh yeah, there. Alright. Export that code. And let's relabel you to water cooling. And then we're going to call this the housing water cooling. You see? I'm trying to get good habits. I'm labeling things. And this is blue. Give me a purple cable. And pretty sure I can just run. Yeah. I'm going to run this up here. Like so. Turn you on. Turn you off. And what do I want? So I want my water production pump. I need my water production analyzer. My water production valve. And I've got a sensor called... I can't remember if I called it outside sensor or Vulcan sensor. No, outside sensor. Right, it's not erroring. So let's go and see what the crack is, shall we? Let's go and take a look at what's happening out here. Ignore the furnace pipe, it's getting hot. Alright, they're on. The reason they're on is because the pipe is hotter than Vulcan. So it's doing the cooling. Fine. This valve is still on. And this valve should go off when this hits 600. Because we've got it down to a point where, okay, we are starting to be able to cool this. We will have to add something in later. Because once we pumped all this out, it's going to be an issue. But the valve should go off, which it did. And now we're doing a lot more cooling because we're doing this as a batch. Now this pump over here should come on when this pipe hits below 200, we said, didn't we? Which should be okay. I need to figure out how to deal with this, but that's a later problem. Alright, so that is coming down quite nicely. It's very quick when you're not pumping in bloody 1750 degrees C water. Not water. Gas. Oh, while we're waiting, let's quickly go and check our pollutant tank. We put those additional purge valves on, so my hope is that A, it hasn't exploded. B, we've got more than 30, whatever the number was, in the tank. I can't remember. I want to say 37,000 liters, but I could be talking at my arsehole. Right, this one's pollutant. So this tank has, drum roll, 40,500. The pressure has gone up, which isn't good, considering I have 3 purge valves on that bastard. That isn't good at all. They're all turned on. Trying to bring it down to 49k. Okay. That is a problem. But it's only going to be... So once I start dumping more heat into the CO2, I think at that point we'll start burning through it. So I'm going to hold off doing anything right now. I've got too much stuff on my inventory. Too much stuff on my person. Don't need all of you. You go in there and you go in there. You go in here. I don't need you. You go in there. Perfect. Oh, and you go in there. Right, let's go and see how we're doing, shall we? So we are currently on 237. Okay, so we've started building up an amount of water, which is good. That's what we want. Stress, getting a little high. But what I'm hoping for... You know what I could do? You know what I could do? I've got an idea for something, but it's not going to be a today job. Right, when this gets to 200 degrees C, we should start leaking out some of that water. Well, all of the gas, actually. Right, there's the 200. Pump comes on. Right now, you can see there the stress is dropping because we're transferring the water into this system. This system will be allowing the liquid to pass into this pipe. Now, that doesn't look great because this is getting warmer, but that's because we're pulling the temperature of this tank down from the fuck up that we did before. But look, the temperature's coming down now, which is good. What are we on? 408. The evaporation that's happening in there is contributing to that cooling. But we need the... I mean, why is that not condensing yet? Is it because the pressure's too low? Could be. Water condenses, assuming it hits a pressure... Oh yeah, so we need to like get below, like say 900. Oh, to be fair, we're going to start condensing any second now. At 294. Oh no, we're not. No, we're not. We need to get about 2 megapascal of liquid in there. So it's going to take some time. But we are almost through this batch. The temperature in there now, look, has gone way low. But luckily, we've got quite lucky there because the pollutant has not liquefied, which is good. I'm just wondering whether this is stupid. Maybe I should have a filter that just pulls the steam out. Because I can see us having a problem here where we're going to pass some pollutant into the system, aren't we? We may as well rip this system out, replace this pump with a filter. Might be a better idea. And now, so obviously I know that this isn't going to turn back on now. I know that. I was just trying to build it in sections. So what we're gonna do, so we managed to get a whole 12 moles in there. That is shite. That is absolutely shite. A lot of what we need is in that tank. Alright, so that didn't work, but I'm not bothered. I'm going to take that up, and what we're going to do is I'm going to lose this tank. Like, I know it's a waste, but I've got so much fuel, I'm not even bothered. Let's split this. And I assume nothing's going to take damage. No, we're good. Alright. Let's put you back. But this time, we're going to use a filter instead. Because I just think, like, we still do the cooling side because that worked beautifully. Look at that. Look at that temperature, 107. I mean, we'd probably struggle to get it any lower than that, to be fair. But at that point, I want to filter that into here. I don't want to do this because I don't want. If I get pollutant in there, it becomes a whole other job trying to split the two. So let's not waste our time. So now I want water filter. And the reason, like I said, the reason I'm doing all this outside and not in here is because I do not want an explosion because I've not really got a system comfortably in my head yet. So that is why we're doing what we're doing. You go there. I need pipes. I've got cable coil. I should have water filters, which I do. The code in here will be erroring, which it is, but we will we'll sort that out once we've got this filter in place. Power's looking good. Alright. So we're gonna do. I mean, the filter's gonna be backwards, which is gonna piss me off. But it's that is a minor issue. We're going to have the issue of still dealing with the crap in this pipe. So we'll figure that out shortly. You fuck off a second. Give me this. Give me this. Right, you and you. You will come round to here. And then the same thing that I always do. I think someone mentioned that I should put an additional volume in the pipes, like around these things. At some point, I'll probably test that here. I don't really know how it would help, but we'll figure it out. Purple cable. Give me this. You go there, and you go there. You need to be connected as well. Go to that tank, why the hell not? You come straight across there into here. Alright. And then we go for this. And I don't even need that tank. Do not even need that tank because we're only going to be pulling. If I do this instead of the tank, I potentially reduce the volume. And as a result, we should capture water quicker. That's my thinking. Whether that's the case or not, we'll find out. So we're going to leave the tank, but we're going to bypass it for now. Because what we can do is we could put a check on that pipe to ensure we don't overpressurize that pipe system. So that's fine. So, same principle. Apart from, well, this pump is always going to be on. But yeah, same principle. We cool this down. Instead of turning the pump on, we turn the filter on. And we can also load from the output of the filter. So let me label you water prod filter. Okay. Let's go and change the code. Yep, yeah, I know you're erroring because you don't know what is going on with your life. Right, so we don't do the pump. Instead, the pump becomes the filter. And here, it'll be filter. That works the same. However, on the filter, what we're going to do is we're also going to load slots into R4 from the filter 0. For anyone who doesn't know, the filtration, slot 0 and slot 1 are your gas filters. So we're going to do from 0, and we're going to do quantity, load slot into R5 from the filter, slot index 1, quantity. We're going to add into R4, R4 and R5, set greater than into R4, where R4 is greater than, well, 0. Basically, as long as we've got health in any of those filters, it can do its thing. And then what we'll do is and into R3, R3 and R4, and then we'll save the filter on. So assuming that everything is good, the temperature in there is that, and we've got filters, then we'll turn the filter on. And that means we will only ever capture water as either liquid or steam, which is fine. Excuse me. So if I just turn you off for a second, change that to water prod filter, make sure I export the code. That should work. No errors. Perfect. However, we now have the issue that once let me think. So we have the issue where if we filter out all the water, but the temperature in there is good, then obviously it's a problem. So what we should probably do, because what's going to happen is once it gets to the temperature we need, it will probably, the pipe will remain pressurized with everything other than water. So after we've done all this crap, what we're then going to do, so we at this point, we're going to say, apart from R0 and R1, we can reuse every register. So what I want to do, well, use every register apart from R0 and R1, but that's fine. So we'll load into R2 from the analyzer, the ratio, and I don't know if I've done this before. Pipe analyzer. We can do ratio steam, I think, because, well, let me think. Or do we just do volume of liquid? Maybe we do volume of liquid. Because we're only ever going to have liquid water. We're never going to have pollutant in there. So if we do volume of liquid, no, not true. If the pressure in there is too high, we will get liquid pollutant even if we're not filtering out. So no, we want ratio water or ratio steam. Yeah, let's do that. So load into R2 the ratio steam, load into R3 from the analyzer, ratio water. All right, now very easy thing we're gonna do here is we're just gonna add those two together. That's not gonna mean anything, but any value other than 0 indicates we have water in there in either a steam form or a liquid form. So what we can do is set equal to 0 into R2 where R2 is equal to 0. If we don't have any at this point, then what I want to do is I want to purge that line. I think. Let me think. If I do that, how am I going to purge that line though? How am I going to purge the line? I wonder if we just pump into a vent and just bin it off? I don't know if it's the best way, and I'm probably over-engineering it, but nah. Welcome to me. I feel like we should probably be doing branching and stuff, like having the code do it in batches, but I'm kind of taking a few shortcuts here and seeing it may work, it may not. Who the hell knows? But give me a pump, which I do not have. And we will just pump it straight into a passive vent. We don't need any of the other byproducts. We don't care about any of the other byproducts. We are collecting enough of everything else. It can all just frick off. Passive vents. Right, boom and boom. Thank you very much. Right. Beep bap boop bap. And you, quite simply, my little friend, can just go anywhere around here, really. I mean, I'm not capturing anything here. That's an export there, so... Oh, no, not there. Anywhere here? I can't power you if I put you there. Let's put you over here instead. Why not indeed, eh? Why not indeed? And I could put a vent here. Nothing is going to capture it. So I can just do this. Wipe this up to full. Slap a pipe there. Get it cabled in. Boom. Job is a good one. You're on. Why are you on? There's no ratio of oxygen water in your input, so you shouldn't be doing anything. You fool. But that's another check I need to put on the filter, don't I? If there's nothing in the input, this needs to be off. Oh, my code isn't turning that on. Did I turn that on? I don't know. Let me label this. Water prods purge pump. Yum 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 yum. There's probably a gazillion other ways of doing this. But I did it my way. Right, up here. So this stuff, if I put this into... Let me think. Don't really need that filter running while there's no water in there. So I kind of need to put these ratios into here as well, but as their own separate registers. Screw it, let's use all the registers. So let's take you out, put you there, take you out, put you there. I'm doing a lot of things here that I shouldn't be doing. I should be leaving notes for myself. I should be using labels for myself. One day I'll just come back to this and not know what the fuck's happening. It's fine. But we can't use R2 here. We need to... I'm just going to use R6 and R7. Fuck it. R6, R7. Add into R6, R6 and R7. Set equal to 0, R6, R6. And... no, because if it's equal to 0, then I want this off. Add those two together. So what I'll do is set greater than 0, R7, R6. Set equal to 0, R6 and R6. So basically, it's looking a bit messy, isn't it? But in the AND, for the filter, I need to AND together R3. So into R3 and R3 and R7? Maybe? Oh, shit. Equal to... Yeah. So then, if R6 is equal to 0, after adding those two together, then that's where we purge the thing. So, save... Oy vey. Save to the purge pump. The on is R6? Is that a thing? I don't know. Alias the purge pump to D4. Right, export you. Put you in. On, off. Purge pump. Alright, it's not everything. That doesn't mean anything. We're making a mess of this code, but we're fucking doing it well. So, let's go and have a look. So at the moment, all these guys are off, and that is because that guy is colder than the atmosphere. The purge pump is on, as you can see. It's doing its thing. Absolutely fine. So what I need to do is I might have to do a... Because what will happen is the code will always get to this point. And what we'll do is when this is less than 1, then we'll do a branch to a separate system and we'll just turn this on. So if I turn this on now, right, as you can see there, it's now getting hot. The purge valve is off because we now have water in there. This is off because we have a temperature of greater than 200 degrees C. This won't go off until we've pulled this down to 600 degrees C. So that's coming on nicely. And that's what we need to just change. So if this pipe ever falls below 1 kilopascal, then what we'll do is we will branch to a section, we'll turn that valve on, we'll like sleep for a few seconds, and then we'll jump back to the start of the code. At which point the code will just pick up where it's left off, and it should just kick in like it has done. Now we're producing a nice amount of power per Stirling, which is going to be going into our batteries. Now what I'm hoping for is this entire cycle will just rinse and repeat. I hope. So we're waiting for this to get down to 600, which is going to happen in about 30 seconds. This is up to 1748. Is that what it was on earlier? I don't remember. The H2 combustor is obviously not kicking in right now. Which is okay. Alright. Oh yeah, I need to go turn the H2 combustor on, I think, actually. I can't remember if I closed the door. So you can see there, look, we've got 80 moles of steam, which is all good. Right, valve is off. All of a sudden, temperature comes down a lot quicker. Now we had... Yeah, so there's no liquid in there, but that is fine. We won't get liquid until we get to about 380. Apart from putting in more Stirlings, I'm hoping... Oh, and automating that valve. We might be in a pretty good position here. Maybe. Oh, and I just need to potentially put safety on this side. Maybe. Alright. We're getting to a point where we should start seeing water in its liquid form any second now. You take your time, yeah? Come on, game. You take your time. Where's my liquid? It's because the pressure's so low. We're having to wait a little bit. How long are we going to be waiting for? Oh, it should be doing it now. There we go. Alright. So here is our next batch of water coming in. So this continues to do its thing. Cooling, cooling, cooling. While it's also turning into water. Stress is going up, but it won't stay that way. Because as soon as we hit 200 degrees C, I don't think any of this is taking damage from the stress, so we should be fine. So this is going to batch us a litre of water just in this pipe. Never mind the other 33 moles we've got. So you should be coming on in about another 50 degrees C. I just need to put more Stirlings on this. I need this to be cooler. Come on. What did we end up in there? Just 0.82 moles and then 12 moles in there. Right. We're approaching 200 degrees C. We're fuck all moles. Right, filter is on. The filter starts pulling out the steam and the water, which is getting moved into here, which in turn gets passed into here. And as you can see now, our water is starting to build up. So once this amount of water hits 0, which should happen any second. Boom, 1 litre of water at a very hot 205 degrees C. But it's coming down, it's fine. Right, we've got a third of a litre. I kind of feel like I was doing a better job before. But using the medium radiators to cool large batches. That was definitely working better before. So I might just copy that system. Yes, I'm dealing with it. Shush, Levy. So all of that for 1.5 litres of water. I mean, it's not a massive deal. The problem with the other system is that there is loss, because you end up getting to a point where your tank fills up with everything but water and steam. And so you end up having to push some of that out. This system, there is a 0 loss on the steam or water made, but it's just slower. But I could speed it up by adding more Stirlings to the system. That would be fine. Also, why are you guys not on? Is that... Oh, yeah, because we've got down to 170. That's why. That is why. So this last remaining, like, 0.015 a litre is just going to slow it down. It's going to bottleneck. But we did make 1.5 litres of water. So, is that a win? I mean, it's still coming out pretty hot though, isn't it? Look, 162. I mean, that's a false reading because, like I said, it was from the fuck up before. Maybe I should set this to something low, because at this point now we are slowing down the entire system for the sake of 0.003 litres. Ah, it's gone. Now the purge valve is on. So now it's purging that entire line. We do not care for anything that is in there. And then, yeah, so what we're going to do is once that gets below 100 kilopascals, we need to turn this guy back on. Is the idea. If I was to turn that on now, it's not going to do it. Why would you not do that? Because that pipe is... that's something I need to check my code. Basically, I need this on to allow loads more of this to go through. But maybe we just do... That's where we do the branching. We go, okay, branch until this equals... I don't know. 3 megapascal? Because we're probably always going to have a large amount in here. But the amount that we're getting from this just isn't great. And now what's going to happen is because daytime is here, we're going to end up not producing water. Yeah, so once those two temperatures meet in the middle, because the efficiency in there is going to be crap. There, look. All of a sudden, we're holding... The system's holding up. Because now we're going to wait until nighttime again. So do I instead swap that valve for a pump? Pump this system up until it reaches... I don't know, go like for a high amount or something. I don't know. Really get a large amount in there and then cool that off. More Stirlings. And do it that way. Oh, my other system worked so much better. All we had was H2 combustor, dumping it load into a tank. And then we had medium radiators. I'm probably just being a donut. Just using the Stirlings for the idea of cooling just doesn't really work. I mean, even with radiators, I can't get cooling during the day. Is what it is. I guess the Stirlings... Nah. I don't know. But anyway, well, regardless, I need to change that valve. So let's go and take a look at the cord. I mean, one option is, what happens if I leave that valve open? It'll be constantly leaking in hot fuel, won't it? So for a long time, the Stones will be battling with that. Not something we really want to be doing. So let me think. Here's where we turn the valve on. If so if the temperature is greater than 170. No, wait. R1 is greater than 170. R1 being the temperature of the analyzer. Temperature in there is greater than 170, then turn it on. Maybe we shouldn't do temperature. Maybe we should do pressure. Ooh. Okay, instead of the valve, I am going to do a pump. I feel like a valve is a bit open to things going both ways, really. I guess, oh no, because we've got the one-way valve in there. So nothing will be going backwards into the system. What did I have before? Loads of medium rate. I had the cooling loop, which only operated at night, which basically is what I've got with the Stirling. So I don't need that cooling loop. But we just had large amounts being processed, didn't we? That's all. So I think we should have... Yeah, we're going to go pump. We're going to go pump. And what we'll do is, where the valve is, pump into that network instead. A part of the code was we'll pump in there until we hit a pressure of... I don't know. Try something small. Try like 5 megapascal to start with. We're going to go turbo pump. Actually, no, we don't even need a head script. We'll do turbo pump because we can. Electrum. I'll go get some water as well so my guy stops breathing like he's just walked up the stairs like, well, me. Water, please. Thank you. Half-eaten cereal bar. Very nice. You guys are all still happy? Yep. All good. And do. You go in there. And you go in there. Filter is good. Alright. Let's go and change this up again, shall we? Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, boom, ba-ba-da-ba-dum. Alright. So we take off the valve. Like so. And we put in the pump. Get you a cabled in. Like that, and like that. And we call this one Water Prod Turbo. Okie dokie. And we can we'll set you to 50, it's fine. So the system works exactly the same. Except we, rather than just opening that valve, we're going to pump in until the pressure of that pipe hits a certain amount. And then everything else will do its thing. So, back inside we go. I left my laptop in here, that is fine. Yeah, stop you moaning. Alright. We don't have the analyzer anymore. Now we have the turbo. No. We do have that. We don't have the valve. The turbo. Let's cancel this and let's cancel this. So what we're going to do is load into R0 the analyzer, the pressure. And then what we're going to do is branch less than AL. So if R0 is less than, let's go for 1 megapascal, then branch to pressurized system. And then what we're going to do, just down here, pressurized system. That's about the same I have. We are going to save to the turbo. Is that what I called it? I called it V turbo apparently. Let's get rid of that. Save the turbo, the on as 1. Below here, we're going to put yield. And we're going to load into... I can reuse R0 at this point. Load into R0 From the analyzer, the pressure. Branch relative less than. If R0, if R0 is less than, let's go for 5 megapascal. Go back 1 line. Actually, what we'll do, let's move that yield, put the yield here, and then go back 2 lines. And then we'll just jump to RA. So when we're here, whenever it gets to this point, it's constantly looping. But when we get to here, if it's less than, if we ever get to, well, let's not even do less than 1,000. Let's do less than 200 kPa. If we're less than 200 kPa, pressurize it until we get to 5,000. So that'll just keep doing this loop, blah, 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 blah. Then jump back. And then it'll do the code. And what will happen is we'll pressurize the system to 5 megapascal. The cooling will kick in. And when you cool, the pressure will drop. But it's never going to get to 200. It's coming in at like 1,700. So we should be fine. And then at that point, everything else works. It does its thing. What we should probably do is when we're in here, once we're happy, well, if we're pressurizing the system, we're going to save to the purge pump, the on as 0. Turn off the purge pump, turn on the turbo. And that might do it. Also, whilst we're pressurizing the system, I guess it's fine if the Stirlings could be on. And I guess it's fine if they are on. Because as we're bringing in more stuff, they feel free to start like cooling shit down. So let's try that. If we ever fall outside of this loop, I don't think it'll ever happen. We'll jump to start. That's just to capture anything falling outside the code. I don't think it's going to happen. Confirm that. Export that. Turn you on. Turn you off. Oh, why are you not erroring? You should be erroring because I... Oh, no. No, that's fine. That's fine. Because the turbo is on D2. So, yeah, that's actually okay. Right. Let's go and look at what's happening now. Hopefully it's working. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Right. So as you can see, temperature's coming down. We start boosting our water. Perfecto. Once this gets below 200, the filter should come on. Now, this isn't going to be a true test because the pressure in there is already pretty low. So the turbo might come on when it shouldn't. Well, it's going to come on too soon, maybe. But we'll see. What are we on? We're on at 186. Okay. What the fuck? I don't know why I was looking up then. Alright, so we are doing a thing. Water is coming out. Everything is fine. Small amount of liquid, but that's only for this turn. After this, we should start getting higher bulks. I hope. We hope. I mean, another option is I could filter the water out earlier in the cycle. So we're dealing with 5 megapascals of water at any one time. That's an option. Filter it earlier in the cycle. Maybe. Right, so in a second, any second now, we'll probably get rid of the 0.003. Filter should go off. Purge valve will come on. There we go. Alright, we're purging. We are purging. Right, so once this gets below whatever we set, was 200 kPa, I think? Which won't be long. Come on. Come on. We're almost there. What's your speed on? You're on full. Yeah. To be fair, it's fine. That's off. Why did you not turn on? Why did you not turn on? You should be doing that. Alright, let's get the cycle running, and then I'll nip back in and see why the code isn't doing anything. The logic's connected, so it should be working. But this is us pumping in 5 megapascal. And nothing is happening. Interesting. Nothing is purging, nothing is filtering, nothing is cooling. Our code doesn't work. It worked up to that point, so let me go and see what happened. Can we also see the line number, maybe? Don't know if you can see it on this, though. It's erroring. Why are you erroring? Device not found at line 50. Ah, you fool. That's why. I need the water pod turbo. Right, the cooling should have kicked in now. Yep, cooling is on. Not happy that the turbo is on. Turn that off. Right, we're at 6 megapascal, but it's fine. Temperature is smashing it. Don't think we're gonna get it done for the next day, but we'll see. We will see. You guys are producing us. I'm guessing our power now. I mean, I'm not entirely sure the Stirlings are having any effect, to be honest. I think we're just using too much power. But the bloody temperature comes down so much quicker than what the medium radiators does. If I can cram another 3 Stirlings in this, this will be rapid. Alright, there we go. So we're below 600. So turbo hasn't come on. I mean, should I be concerned that... Oh no, because the code doesn't keep this off, does it? But that's fine. So now we need to see... Well, the temperature needs to get down to 200. When that happens, the filter should come on. Pull out that 75 moles. And I want this to happen pretty sharpish, please. Come on, quick. I don't know where the black hole is, but it can't be far off. Ooh, come on, where's my water? I need more pressure in that. That needs to... Like, at 185 degree, I need... Oh no, sorry, not wrong way. At 409 kilopascal, it would have to be... No, sorry. Temperature 186. I don't know why I had a moment there. The pressure needs to be above 409 in order for the liquid to thingy. You know what I could do? I could force all water to evaporate. It doesn't matter too much because I've got like 9.6 moles in there, and that will work as the pressure. But I could push in a gas that isn't going to liquefy at that temperature, and it will just force all water to condense. I don't know if I need to worry about that though. No, we're gonna miss it. We're gonna miss it. Quick. Quick, 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 quick. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. 5 degrees. Come on. Come on. Yeah, we did it. Whew. Just in time for the next day. Alright, so that's going to be another litre. Pushing through. So we're up to 2 in the new system. And you should come down. Temperature is still dropping in there, which is good. Barely dropping now. Actually, in a sec, yeah, they've gone off now because outside is warmer than the pipe, so they've got no benefit. So they turn themselves off. And then I'm hoping you will get down to 0, purge, turbo pump will come on, repressurize system. We have water in. Oh yeah, ignore me. We're still pumping it out. And the system is slow. Like, the system is really slow. But I'm hoping now we've got a system, if we just leave it, we should find that we can come back to this later and have quite a few litres sat there waiting for us. But what I'm going for is a 0 water loss system. It doesn't sit right with me dumping water into Vulcan. I had to use power, I had to use fuel for that water. Every single mole of that is delicate. So that's what I've gone for here. I think this can support us both, me and Sophie. Now with the turbo pump in place, I'm hoping we'll be able to get... Like, what is that per cycle? That is done, what, about 1.5 litres in that one cycle? We won't get any production during the day. We could potentially, like I said, we could filter this out prior. And then we're only pushing steam through. Don't really know what the benefit of that is, apart from removing the purge as a problem. Well, as a step we have to do. I'm not sure. Right, so we're on 0.09. We're almost there. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that tank. Don't really need it. Come on. Get lower. 3.12 litres. Alright. That comes on. Obviously pumps out. Purges the whole thing. Turbo pump should come on once we hit 200 kPa. This time, I'm going to whack the speed up. I don't mind it overshooting. It's not really an issue. Come on. I guess what's quite nice about this system compared to the old one is that the cooling will kick on as soon as we've got that pipe pressurized. Because it's so hot, we can still cool during the day and get a real good head start on it.
Waste tank caution.
Yeah, screw the waste tank. It'll be fine. What are we on? 17.56. I need to go and check the combustor. Right. Did I set it to 5 megapascal? Oh, you know what's happening, don't you? I have never, in my code, I haven't told the turbo pump to turn off, have I? So the turbo pump just stays on forever and a day. But you know what? It's fine. Let's whack it up to 10 megapascal. We'll turn off the turbo pump manually. And then let's see what happens. Because ideally, it would be good to collect as much during the day as possible. Then purge it out. Because this I'm going to be able to cool. I hope. Quick enough. Actually, let's push our luck, shall we? We've got quite a while to go. So let's go for 20 megapascal. And what we'll do in the code near the start is we'll just check with the if the pressure gets above 20 megapascal, it turns off the turbo pump. We do that knowing that it will not get turned on again until we've purged the system. However, this seems to be taking a while to get up to that, so maybe we won't go for 20, maybe we'll go for like 15. What went dark? Oh, my portable light. That's because I've been outside for so bloody long. Right, let's say 15. 15 megapascal. We'll let that cool. While that does that, excuse me, let me quickly go and do my waste tank. Waste tank, Nino, Nino, Nino. Alright, open you up. Sophie, come and see what I've done. No? You know what? I don't know why, but she's got a problem when I do this in real life. She doesn't like it when I just stare over her sleeping. No idea. She's just Mardy. Alright. Let's go and see whether we have a working... Oh, I need to go change the code, actually. Let's go change the code whilst we're waiting for it to cool and see if it's managed to make any headway before we get back. Yum. Right. So what we'll do, and thinking about it, when we up here we say, oh, less than 200, go and pressurize the system. What we could do is set this to a megapascal and then have it start doing the cooling instantly. We could really speed that up. We could say, oh, if it's less than 1,000, don't do anything. Once we hit a megapascal, jump up to here. But then what we do is it starts its cooling instantly. The turbo pump is still on until the pressure in there is above 15. So set greater than into R0. Nope, that's not going to work. So what we could do here, set greater than into R0, where R0 is greater than 15,000. Save to the turbo, the on, as R0. Because here we don't override R0. And down here, pressure, branch less than that. Do that thing. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, because then down here we'll reload branch if it's less than that, which it won't be. If it's greater than that, we just turn it off. Otherwise, it'll keep the turbo on. Oh, no, that'll... It's greater than that. No, I can't do that, can I? I can't do that. We would have to... we'll have to make sure the turbo is off here. But then when we're in this loop, we'll set this to 15,000. So it'll do this. Once we get to 15,000, it'll jump to RA. which is the next line, which forces the turbo off. And to be honest, that line doesn't even have to go here. That could just go inside the loop. Put it there. Turbo comes on. We constantly check this. Once it's done, we turn it off. Jump to RA, continue the code. It's probably the safest way of doing it. So export you. Stick you in there. Job's a good one. Go and check. And let's see how much cooling. So don't forget, we had 15 megapascal and we got to about 1400, 1200. We are now on 632. And that is during the day still. So that is not bad. Not bad. And that's only 3 sterlings when we can get the power of 6. Which is also good. We got this time we got 191 moles. Okay, we got a problem. Because of the 15 megapascal that I put in, we have ended up with additional water, which is overstressing our pipes, which ain't great. So I need to reduce that 15 megapascal to something else. Maybe go for 10, so that it doesn't produce as much water. Because as you can see, it's taking longer to cool, which means we're just getting more actual liquid in there. Whoa. Let me sort that out. So there you go. The stress isn't really building now. So 15 megapascal is too much. Because the water is condensing, it's also fighting against the cooling. Which isn't great. So it also slows down that. Now that we've got all water, we should start seeing the cooling increase a little bit. And you can now look, it's got faster. Alright. We can't do 15. I'm saying we go for maybe 12. I guess it's just a case of fiddling with the system.
Hydration critical.
And you just kind of get what's right for your actual setup. So if we change the 15, we'll go 12. 12 megapascal.
Power low.
Oh, shush. We'll be calling it in a second. Right, we're going to make sure that this batch is okay. But that's 3 liters. So 15 megapascal gets us about 3 liters of water. But you can see here, look, we've not even gotten down to 200 degrees yet. So what I'm hoping is, what it looks like is you're getting about a liter for every 5 megapascal with this current system. So if we drop it by a fifth, we're going to get about 2.4 liters per cycle. So we were on 3 something. I'm not going to be able to keep track of that. But yeah, we're not doing too bad. We're not doing too bad. We actually got more than 2.4 liters there, I think. You know what? Can't complain. Can't complain. We've made over 5 liters of water in the time when I've only had to use 1 bottle. So that is supporting me. So the biggest challenge next will be to take this line and cool this. But to be honest, I can get that water down by another 120. Well, I can get down to 126 by just feeding it through a cooling loop using medium radiators, and that should bring that down to 126. Then we feed that into our, well, we get it to exchange with our CO2 inside, And yeah, basically just try and shave off 100 degree, which shouldn't be that difficult. I don't think. I think our CO2 should be more than capable of keeping up. Assuming that our liquid pollutant is currently gaining and not dropping. Now, I can't remember what I was on before. It was like 36,000 maybe? As long as we aren't lower than that, then that is a step in the right direction. You're on, still doing your thing, so that is good. We've got 4.7 kilomoles of water in there, all to be processed, which is very nice. Right, how are you guys doing? So you're all still good. A bit hotter in there than it was earlier, but that's just us doing waste tanks and our base and all that kind of stuff. But as for liquid pollutant, we are on, drum roll please. Holy crap. 43,800 litres. So we need to get that water hooked up to this sooner rather than later. Otherwise, this guy is going to blow. Because I think when the tank hits, well, when the pipes hit 6 megapascal, they will rupture. So that is going to be it for today. That's got 3 purge rather than they're still not keeping up. So I need to start handling this liquid pollutant. So what we're going to do is next time I'm going to finish off I'm going to try and finish off the water production. And we're going to see if we can get Sophie to start work on the control room. And hopefully we'll be able to make a good dent on that. Get this tower safe, because if this tower goes up, we've got a massive problem. We've got 617 kilomoles in there. Yikes. When are you going to stop? I can't remember what you're set to. Probably 50. Yeah, let's say you're set to 50 megapascal. I'm pretty sure that's right. CO2, 33 kilomoles. Not bad. Not bad. There's the pipe network between here and there as well. This is the combustion tank, which again, we're on 4.71 kilomoles of steam, which is nice. And then right at the bottom, our oxygen was on 2.22 earlier. We're now on 2.36. So everything's looking up. That pollutant is going to be a big problem though if I don't get it sorted. So I'll be doing that next time. So bit of a different one, but we just thought we'd fill the space because there's no stream on Sunday. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye.